Hi everyone, welcome to the Taylor Guitars World Forestry Tour. We traveled all the way to Ireland to learn about sustainable forestry. Now what's remarkable is that only 1% of the island of Ireland was forested at the turn of the century in the 1900s. Today 11% because of people who had the foresight to plant these forests with Sitka spruce seeds. What's amazing is that these forests were planted in land that typically was worthless. The peat moss had been stripped off, there was nothing left there, and yet they were able to plant these trees and make these massive forests throughout Ireland.
Hey, Bob Taylor here, and I'm in Ireland now. This is fantastic. I'm standing here beside the 3,000-year-old stone circle. It's part of the chain of stone circles that goes all throughout the UK. If we look up here, what we're going to see is Sitka spruce planted. That's the reason we came to Ireland, because they've planted hundreds of thousands of acres in Sitka spruce. They've been doing it for decades. If we just do a pan around this whole thing, we're surrounded by 360 degrees of these wonderful trees. Some of them are 30, 40 years old. They have a fantastic industry here going. And again, it just corroborates that whole idea that without planting, we're never going to be sustainable. We really need to take a look at this all around the world. We're having a fantastic time learning here. Hey everybody, Bob Taylor here again. We're in Ireland. We're looking at Sitka spruce. I'm here with Treylock Layton. It's been great to get to know you last night and this morning. Thanks for showing us around. Tell us a little bit about this Sitka, this plantation, what's going on here?
Well, this is a private Sitka plantation. It's probably about sorry, it's in its early 20s. As it turns out, Tim McCarthy, the guy who owns it, is chairman of a local producers group, the Forest Owners Cooperative. And it's something that we in GP Wood are supporting, because in Ireland, as I explained to you last night, there's 15,000 private forest owners that have emerged within the past 20 years. And they're typically farmers who plant relatively small areas. I mean, the average area of private forests in Ireland is only 8 hectares. So they're relatively young, and they haven't been subjected to the same type of management the state-owned forest, which is the dominant forest in Ireland. So in order to put some structure around this, the co-op has been formed and professional management support has been put in place. Tim's property here is one of the properties that we thinned actually within the past couple of years.
Small thinning, a light thinning.
Because
you're trying to experiment to make sure the wind doesn't blow it over.
Correct.
It's windy here.
Yeah, it's quite exposed up here.
Yeah.
It's relatively wet soil, so we've got to be careful to blend the desire to thin and improve the crop in that regard. We had a big storm here in 2014 that did significant damage, particularly in private plantations that had been thinned, the previous year or so. And we've got to avoid that, because people here look at these crops as investments.
Sure they do.
And they are anticipating a return, and certainly if it blows halfway through that phase, that's pretty disappointing.
Yeah. So a lot of learning going on as far as little patches. Big patches kind of take care of themselves a little bit. They have more girth. They can withstand weather. Smaller patches are susceptible to wind sometimes. So learning as you go.
Yeah.
But I think it's important, this concept of a lot of small patches, 15,000 farmers putting in, many hands make light work, I guess I'll sum it up that way. But we're seeing that in other parts of the world where huge tracts of land are being grown, almost, what would be the modern word for it? Crowdsourcing, right?
Yeah.
We're crowdsourcing trees, and they're going up. It's fantastic, and it becomes sustainable.
When you're isolated and you're in a single owner, you can have a devastation. I mean, if you combined all those plantations together as one unit, 8 hectares blowing is a relatively minor thing.
Right.
But for the individual owner, it's a big thing.
So you can help manage that. That's what you're doing.
That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
And we're trying to, but that applies to the positive side of the forestry as well.
That's right.
In terms of just even getting this work done, getting the infrastructure put in place, getting it thinned. It's not really, because it's particularly with the first thinning, which is a pretty marginal activity anyway, economically. if we do that in the context of other work we're doing in the locality, and we can do it.
Some economy of
Yeah,
scale.
exactly,
Through
yeah.
cooperation.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's really a
But
great thing.
of course, the ulterior motive is that we're in the sawmilling business, and
Yes.
we're looking to this for our future.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're growing timber for the sake of the wood.
Yeah,
Yeah. And we're not going to quit using wood, so we need to grow it.
yeah.
It's fantastic that Sitka spruce has become a species that fits well into Ireland. You guys have an economy. We just visited your sawmill. It's fantastic. You know, how many trucks a day are you cutting now? It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, well, over 30 a day now.
Over 30
yeah.
day trucks of grown wood. It's fabulous, especially for someone from the U.S. who's thinking of just Sitka's coming from natural forests, and here you're growing this stuff. So my hat's off to you.
I'm delighted that someone outside the country has some interest in
We've got a lot of interest in it. It's great
Yeah.
to share this with the world. Traylock is
you.
fantastic. I can't wait to see some more. Hey, Bob Taylor here again, and I'm here with Steve McMinn, Pacific Rim Tonewoods. You guys all know Steve. Steve, you arranged this trip. We're in Ireland. We're looking at Sitka spruce. Sitka spruce is your living.
Yep.
Tell me about what we're looking at here. It's really fantastic from what I see.
So we're looking at plantations on marginal farmland of Sitka spruce, seed source, Washington State, and it's 20 years old or so, and it's become a real industry in Ireland. There's not a future for instruments in these trees, but you could have trees like this in a place like Ireland, properly tend them, and I believe in 100 years you could get wood that was suitable for instruments. One of the things that's most interesting to me about this is possible because of EU and Irish state policies that pay the landowner to install the forest, to put it in, and even for the first 15 years an annual stipend. So it's big picture incentive to help afforest the country.
Now that's that public-private partnership that really is at work here, and it's a fantastic thing to see. And again, it gives us great inspiration that this stuff can be grown.
Yeah.
And so Guatemala yesterday, I was too hot, and now I'm getting rained on and I'm freezing. So we're signing off now, and we'll go look at some more stuff.